Afternoon. It's April the 19th, and I just wanted to do a little updated video on our potatoes. Last week we had a week of high 70s and 80s, and yesterday we got snow, and this morning it was 32 and frost everywhere. But the potatoes are starting to come up and starting to do really well. We're getting a 60-degree day today, nice and sunny. These are the ones we planted in our little square box here of our fast start potatoes, and you can see they're doing really nice. These are baby Dutch, and right here is the first ones we planted. We planted them all in these buckets, and every one of them are coming up, doing really nice. Little grow bag back there. So these guys are doing good. Just cut my grass today and I mounded up, and that's what we compost in our beds. So there's those, and blackberries are starting to come out really nice. You can see our almost 50-foot row. The Kiowa's not looking too good. It may have not even made it. I don't see any green on it, so if it don't make it, it'll be time to get rid of that one. I've got some extra ones. Actually, right there's some new canes coming out. I'll have to move these cages. This is a thorny variety, but it gets the largest of the blackberries. They get as big as golf balls. I've got the videos in my playlist to prove that. There's our little fire pit with our leftover Elsa Craig onion seedlings. So they're not doing too bad for 2011 seeds. Our blackberries, I got a lot of the canes trellised up. I try to keep them to four canes, but we had so many canes left over last year. I left some canes. So hopefully they'd make it through the winter. Excuse me. And you can see how I've planted some of these tips off of these canes. This is where it comes off the main plant, and it goes down in there, and I'll bury these tips. And here in the spring, getting into summer, these tips will root in the ground, and I can cut them loose from the main plant, and I can sell these blackberry plants. These are triple crown thornless, and like I say, they're doing really nice. We got our lettuces back there. They're doing nice, and we got our cabbages under the screen here to keep the codling moths off. They're doing nice. And our blueberries, this is the second year on these guys. Second year plant in the ground. Now, when we bought them, they were a few years old, so we bought bigger plants, but they're doing nice. We've got, I think this is the Blu-ray. Let's see right here. That's the Blu-ray. And this is the Northlands. So they made it through the winter, and they're doing good. Our Patterson onions are doing good. Iceberg lettuce in the containers are doing good. There's some extra cabbage plants I've got to plant or sell or give away. There's a few of them chili peppers I put in some containers. Here's a nice little iceberg lettuce box I built a few weeks ago and filled it full of Pro Mix and garden compost and rabbit manure. So it's doing well. Our strawberries, they're doing great. You can see we've already got flowers forming and berries forming on these guys. These ones in the pots out front were the ones we had over the winter in our crawl space area. So they overwintered really nice. Here's all of our plants that we bring in and out. There's the giant Marconis. There's the Asian beans in the back, already getting beans on them and flowers. Our tomato plants in the solo cups. Our sweet potatoes. There's our the first potatoes we planted, and actually it wasn't potatoes, it was potatoes. It was Yukon Gold potato sprouts. Now I've left them out through the freezing. They went down to 13 degrees, and wind chill was 8 degrees, so they've made it, and they're still going. And there's little Carlos. Here's our other blackberry line that we've got. They're starting to come out on it too. And our potatoes over here, we were really worried with the last 2 days of 30 degrees and frost. Well, there's our Elsa Craigs and our Patterson onions. They're doing great. But you can see they're starting to come up. Let's walk over here. See that? So the frost got them pretty hard this morning. This whole potato bed here was covered in ice, frost. They didn't like that too well. You can see the leaves. But I think they're going to make it. We're going to start getting warmer weather. We're going to get a few more colder days, but that's to be expected with this time of the year. We're just happy that they're coming up. These pots right here are where we're going to do our Sarpomira potatoes. We're going to wait till the 1st of May. And that way, when we harvest these guys, we're hoping to get them to harvest late so we can get a crop to use for seed potatoes next year and try them out. We've got our spinach here. We've done harvested twice off of these plants, and they just keep coming back. They're doing great. The wind beat them down pretty hard, but man, they're just doing great. You can see that, how nice that looks. And our garlic's starting to come up, do pretty good. And we've got another planter box on the other side. Finally got my if you can look up there at that yellow bucket and my hose. We got a couple of days of rain, so we're getting our water barrels filled up. I don't know if you can see down in there or not. The sun's kind of, but I've got a pump that I stick down in that 5-gallon bucket, and that 5-gallon bucket's under the downspout. I just took the elbow off the bottom, and when the bucket fills up, I just turn it on and pump it right in here, and in a few rains, we'll have this thing full, and once we get this bucket full, we'll get into this IBC tote and start filling it up. But we also have some potatoes coming up. Oh yeah, here's our giant beet that we planted to try to get some seeds off of. This beet was, I think, around 17 inches long. Monster beet here. This is one whole beet. You can see that. I don't know, the sun's not on now, but and we put it in our crawl space area, and now I'm starting to see some flower heads come out of the top of this thing. So that's what we were trying to do. Beets are biennial. They take 2 years, like an onion, to form their seeds, but we put this thing in the 5-gallon bucket, and we stuck it down there in the crawl space hole, and it made it through the winter. This is actually the second winter it's went through. But I can see now it's starting to form some flowering heads on it, so that's great. This is a Cinderella variety, and with any luck, we'll get some seeds out of this guy. And here's our, this is where we normally plant our sweet potatoes. And last year, or year before last, we did our green beans here and trellised them up on this cattle panel trellis. But these were our extra seed potatoes. So we went ahead and put them in the ground here too. And they're coming up real nice. So yeah, things are doing good. Our potatoes are doing good, even with the real cold frost morning we had this morning. Everything's looking good, and with any luck, Lord willing, we'll get some potatoes out of these guys. We'll keep you updated with some videos along the way before we get a harvest. Thanks for watching.